Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I will be ranking all the roller coasters at Kings Dominion. I've been to Kings Dominion 4 times throughout my life, once in 2018, once in 2019, once in 2022, and then I just went this year about 3 weeks ago. This is overall a fantastic and phenomenal park. Leave a comment down below if you want me to do a review on Kings Dominion, because it is a fantastic park that I suggest you all go to one time, because it is definitely, in my opinion, one of the better parks in now the Six Flags chain. But I'm only going to be ranking the coasters that are still at the park, because I've ridden some of Kings Dominion's defunct coasters, like Anaconda. So I'm only going to be ranking the coasters that are currently operating at the park still. So yeah, let's kick off and get into the list. At number 12, and the worst coaster in the park, is Apple's Apple. This ride is absolutely terrible. It is rough, it is jerky, it is painful, it is just a terrible Wild Mouse coaster. It's a bottom 15 coaster for me. It's just that bad. I really do not like this ride. It is one of the worst Wild Mouse coasters out there, in my opinion. Just a terrible overall ride. At number 11 is Woodstock Express. This is your typical Woodstock Express wooden coaster clone. Basically a decent family wooden coaster meant for basically families and kids. It serves its job well, but it's nothing really special. It doesn't really do anything. It's a boring ride for me, but for families and children, it's going to be a good ride for them. At number 10 is Tumbili. This ride sucks, man. It does absolutely nothing. It does not flip at all. When I recently voted, it didn't even flip once. It just rocked back and forth the entire time. It runs so slow. Like, it has that trim that it just crawls through its way out. Now, most free spins, I know they aren't meant to run really fast, but Tumbili feels like it's a powered coaster. That's just how slow this ride feels. It just does not do anything. It basically feels like a kiddie coaster. It is just a boring ride. It doesn't do anything. It sucks. Let's move on. At number 9 is Reptilian. This is a fun bobsled coaster. Now, I've actually heard when this ride is trimless, it's kind of insane. Now, the trims were hitting for me, so it was pretty tame and kind of just glided through the layout. But overall, it is a pretty decent family coaster. Towards the end of the ride, the helixes actually do pull some very surprisingly good forces. But other than that, the ride doesn't really do too much. But it is a unique coaster, but it's nothing really that special, and it doesn't really do much. Number 8's Backlot Stunt Coaster. This is another fun family coaster. That launch actually is kind of punchy, but not that super punchy. Like, it packs a good hit for how short the launch is, but it's not that great of a launch, but it's a solid launch. The helix, though, the upward helix, actually has some really, really good forces. The ride has some good lateral moments. The only problem is the seat molds on this ride are not very comfortable, and the ride is pretty janky and jerky, which also it's kind of rough at the same time. So it's not like that great. But overall, it's a solid family coaster. That helix is definitely the best part, the helix at the very beginning. There's a random pop of airtime also, but overall, this is just a solid family launch coaster. At number 7, we have Flight of Fear. This ride is not very good, honestly. The problem with it is it's just boring, this one, and it's also rough too. Like, compared to the Kings Island one, which people say is way worse than this one for some reason. Like, people say the Kings Island one's way rougher. I beg to differ. I think this one is definitely way rougher than the Kings Island one. And this one just also feels way slower, and the pacing is way worse on this one. Not to mention that the launch, yes, the launch on this is very good still, and that final corkscrew is snappy, but the rest of it just honestly sucks. Now, this was closed my most recent visit, so I didn't get to give it a redemption shot, but based off my 2022 ride on it, this is just not a very good coaster. At number 6, we got Racer 75. This surprised me, my most recent ride, actually, because the side you're actually watching right now, was really good when I rode it. It had some really good pops of sustained floater and projector airtime, where I was out of my seat for a good amount of the time, and I was really surprised by it. Yet the other side, for some reason, still did absolutely nothing. It had no airtime. This ride is like a hit or miss, it almost feels like, because it could either be a very surprising good ride, or it could just do absolutely nothing and be a boring, slow, just not very good ride. But it's at number 6 mainly because I got that one really good ride on it where I got some really good pops of airtime. This ride actually does run pretty smooth for how old it is. But overall, yeah, this is a fun winning coaster. If you're on the right side and it's running good and it's giving good pops of airtime and is not running super slow, then Racer 75 is actually a very fun ride. Starting off the top 5, at number 5, we have Dominator. This is one of B&M's top 4 risk coasters. The ride has a very good layout, some really fun inversions. It has some very underrated positives, actually. And it also has some very good pacing. This is my second favorite 4 risk coaster I've done so far. Rougarou is still by far the best 4 risk coaster I've ridden, in my opinion. I think Rougarou is the best 4 risk coaster out there, actually. But Dominator is definitely my second favorite 4 risk. This is a very fun B&M looping coaster. That Cobra roll is snappy. The mid-course drop, you actually get some good airtime going off of it. The drop has some good snap. The corkscrews are snappy. This is just overall a really fun B&M looping coaster with a great B&M looper layout. And it is B&M's longest 4 risk coaster, which you wouldn't even really be able to tell, honestly, when you're on it, because I feel like I've been on other 4 risks that feel longer than this, but nonetheless, Dominator is still an awesome B&M 4 risk coaster and one of B&M's best 4 risks. At number 4 is Rapterra. This ride is amazing. That launch is super powerful. The ride has some great positives. It's intense. It has some snappy moments. Its pacing is phenomenal. The ride is rough, yes, but I honestly feel like that kind of makes the ride feel more out of control. If you haven't known by now, if you saw my Holiday World ranking and also my top 50, I am a huge fan of Thunderbird at Holiday World. So I went into this with some pretty high expectations, and it delivered. This is an absolutely phenomenal coaster. A must-ride when you go to Kings Dominion, a top-tier B&M for me. Rapterra is just overall such an amazing coaster. At number 3 is Grizzly. That retrack did absolute wonders to this ride. Before the retrack, this ride wasn't even top 150 for me, I think. And now it's in my top 30 overall. It's that good. Grizzly is a fantastic winning coaster with some insane ejector airtime moments, some great moments of laterals. The ride rips through its layout when it's lower to the ground. When you're higher off the ground, it doesn't really go as fast. But when you're low to the ground, this thing speeds through its layout. And those airtime pops it has, you just go flying out of your seat. Standing ejector airtime practically. I was landing on the seat divider on some of my rides. That's how strong the airtime was. Well, I only got one ride on Grizzly, unfortunately, my most recent visit. But that one ride packed a huge punch. This is overall such a fantastic winning coaster. A must ride when you go to Kings Dominion. And just overall, an amazing coaster with amazing ejector airtime. The layout is also very good. This is just overall a phenomenal winning coaster. And a must-ride when you go to Kings Dominion. Just an absolutely amazing coaster. At number 2, we have Twisted Timbers. This is a top-tier RMC easily. This ride is absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, this is literally just mini Steel Vengeance. It feels like Steel Vengeance just if you shrunk it down a bit more. The airtime on it is so powerful and strong. The ride is super aggressive. It's super fast-paced. It runs at a fast pace throughout its whole layout. The ride has a fantastic layout as well, packed with many airtime moments, some great inversions. That cutback inversion is super snappy. This is overall such a fantastic RMC coaster. It is a top 5 coaster overall for me. It is my number 5 overall, actually. It's just that good. Before I rewrote it, I thought this ride was amazing still, but after I just rewrote it this year, wow, this thing is unreal. World-class coaster, top 5 overall. Absolutely amazing, but it's not the best coaster at Kings Dominion, as that honor goes to Pantherian or Intimidator 305, as you would like to call it. No matter what you call it, this ride is absolutely unbelievable. A world-class coaster, one of the best coasters in the world, in my opinion. It's in my top 3 after the rewrite I just got on it. It's in my top 3 now. It's just that good. It is so intense. It's so snappy and aggressive. It has some very underrated pops of ejector airtime. Going in and out of those snaps, you get some lateral ejector airtime that just throws you into the restraint so hard. The ride's pacing is top notch. It absolutely storms through that entire layout. The layout on this ride is also very good for what it does. And this ride is just a absolute powerhouse. I don't know how some people out there don't think this is the best Giga Coaster in the world. This is by far the best Giga Coaster ever built, and I don't see how people don't think that. This ride absolutely just throttles every single B&M Giga Coaster, every other Giga Coaster. It is the best intimate coaster out there, in my opinion. It is a top 3 overall ride for me. It is just an absolutely phenomenal coaster, a must ride when you go to Kings Dominon, and should be a top bucket list coaster for you out there. So that's my ranking of all the roller coasters at Kings Dominon. Make sure to like this video, also subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.